Hello, everybody. What's another Let's Play? This one being Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. This is one of the games that put a certain developer on the map, known as BioWare, in 2002 on 2003 on the Xbox. Basically, when they were approached, they were given two options: one, create a game in between episodes 2 and 3, detailing the life of Anakin, or a game set way in the past, 4,000 years before the fall of the Empire, where when the Jedi was at their peak, and the Sith were even before the rule of two, where the Sith were a full-on empire. You can see which one they chose with KOTOR. Anyways, without further ado, let's click New Game. Now this is now my 7th attempt of recording this Let's Play, as you know, but because I've done a live stream version, I've done a I've done a live stream version, I've done every type of version you can do. I have done it with every single type of source we can do. Heck, I tried to live stream it and the internet crashed, so I'm not doing it now recording. So, we have a couple things. We have the Scoundrel, which is more focused on stealth and guile, which is like speeches. We have the Scout, which is focused more on like techie things. And then there's the Soldier, which is more focused on feats. Most of the time, you want to pick either the Scoundrel or the Soldier. The Scout, most of the stuff can be done by other party members, while the Scoundrel is completely dedicated on stealth and guile and persuasion, which is one of the stat exclusive to the main character, and Soldier if you want to make a really powerful main character. Now, most of the time, I was actually going for the Soldier, honestly. For 3 attempts, I went for Soldier. I'm actually considering going Scoundrel, but but I'm actually gonna go Soldier. Okay, so we have a portrait. We can choose our face. I will be choosing the canon face of the main character, which is Mullet Man. So next up is attributes. Attributes determined on a D&D system, meaning that strength is strength, basically determining your chance to hit with melee weapons, and also your modifier on damage, which I want to increase to 16. Dexterity, which determines your hitting with blasters, because fun fact, your damage is not added to blasters, unlike melee weapons. Instead, they are actually instead it's just added to hit. This is based off of by the way, not 5e, but instead 3rd edition, if I'm right. So, but yeah, because it has the will, fortitude, and reflex system. Basically, this determines on defense, what also determines your defense, along with your hitting with a blaster rifle, but making it so it's actually you're harder to hit, and making it so you're can take a little bit more damage. Constitution, when you get hit, then what gets lowered is your HP. Constitution determines how much HP you have total. Basically, with each point added, you get 1 extra point of HP when you level up. Being pretty good. You want good con. Next up is intelligence. Intelligence determines on how much, well, on your knowledge of reasoning. For if you have a higher intelligence, you have more brain to think, meaning that you have more skills that you can upgrade, or well, you know, more skills you can add on when you level up, basically. So I want this at a neutral 10, so we don't have anything minus. Wisdom determines force force stuff. Basically, it also determines how much force points you have, how much it's added to force hit power saving throws against enemies, and how much you can resist. It's pretty darn good. You want wisdom if you're planning on using force powers. Trust me, pretty good. And then lastly is charisma. Charisma determines on how much, basically on 2 things. 1, persuasion. 2, basically whether or not you can, basically in some force powers. Most of the time, charisma is in fact a dump stat, but it is useful on the Soldier because the Soldier has pretty crappy charisma bonuses. So, get 2 in here. And this will be our stat spread. 16, 14, 14, 10, 12, 10. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of 1 in Constitution and putting it on Wisdom or Dex. Let's do that. So I can level these up on that level up. Anyways. Next up is skills. Skills determine what we can do when we use a skill check. Computer use depends on, for instance, slicing the computers, using lots of spikes. Most of the time, a party member is better for using this anyway. Demolition depends on how you can set, recover, or disarm mines. Being pretty darn good, again. Pretty darn good, mainly, but again, most party members can do it better than you, so most of the time I recommend not focusing on it. Stealth! Stealth is something that is, well, that some other partners can do better, but stealth is something I don't generally use, because most of the time I like to fight everything. But stealth can be very good if you like using mines, and can be very useful for clearing out entire bases by using mines and stealth and then activating all the enemies in the room. Basically causing them all to run into a huge selection of mines, blowing them all to smithereens. Again, I will not be adding anything to it there. Awareness, kind of a dumb stat, basically determines how your ability to spot things. Basically, enemies can be stealth, and mines can be on the floor. Basically, this determines your ability to spot those mines and those stealth enemies sooner than they would if they were too far away. Again, can be useful, but most of the time, your party members have higher awareness than you and will discover them before you. Meaning that this kind of gets overlooked. Persuade is a skill that's exclusive to the main character, and only the main character, meaning that they actually do want to level Persuade when you can. Because Persuasion is probably one of the most important stats in this game, determining who you can convince. If you can't convince anyone, you can't convince anyone. If you can't, that's what I'm trying to say. Basically, if you don't have Persuasion, you can't really convince anyone. So you want to have good Persuasion. Next, so level it up. Also, it's exclusive to the party member, so if anyone else is trying to level Persuasion, don't let them level Persuasion. Only you can select the skill can do anything with it. So, yeah. Repair. Repair is again like repairing with droids, kind of being similar to computer use, but on droids itself, using less repair kits. But, fun fact, on droid units, it works a little differently. For one, it does the first thing, but also it allows the opponent, the droid, to repair themselves with repair kits easier, being a really good skill to equip on them. Next up is security. Security depends on on your lockpicking. Higher security means you'll be able to unlock things easier. Lower security means it'll be a lot harder. Though you can still bash the door open or the crate open, a lot of times security is more important because you can do it stealthily with the enemies getting the first hit in. Or, another thing is you can also make it so you get more stuff out of crates without having a bunch of junk. And last but not least is treat injury. Treat injury depends on how much you can heal with medkits and stuff like that. I'll be getting one thing in here and one thing in demolitions. Basically, it depends on how you heal yourself, and if you use something like Force Heal, it'll heal everyone. But most of the time, treat injury is pretty good because it's the only thing keeping you alive. Feats. Feats are the most important thing probably in the game currently. I'll explain all of them very quickly. 2-weapon fighting basically determines basically how to explain the skill system. Basically, you will gain skill. Because you're a soldier, will gain at every level, but on other characters, it'll be more spaced out. But right now, we have to choose between basically a perk for our character. Basically, each of them are different, and as we level up, we will get improved versions of our previous perks. For instance, at level 8, we'll get improved 2-master weapon fighting. But most of the time, we'll have to wait for that for now. But I'll explain each of these perks very slightly. 2-weapon fighting basically decreases the penalty on using 2 weapons. We'll be using 2-weapon fighting because I'm going for a canonical main character. So, it wielded 2 weapons. So, basically, decrease the penalties on using 2 weapons, basically mean that you're able to dual wield much easier, and mentally on the master, it's basically a negligent penalty. Next up is armor proficiency, basically determining if you can use a certain type of armor. For instance, because we're a soldier, we get maxed out armor proficiency, meaning we equip all armors, not just light or heavy, or light, heavy, or medium. We have now access to everything. Next up is caution, basically increasing your demolition and stealth skill. Not really that important. Honestly, this skill is kind of a dumb skill. Don't get caution. Critical strike basically forces a critical hit, basically makes it so you have to roll a critical hit, and if you actually do hit that critical, you do 4 times damage. Pretty good. Each version basically lowers the threshold from 19 to 20 to 17 to 20. But also, if it hits, also stuns the opponent for 6 seconds, unless they make a Fortitude, a DC save. Again, pretty useful. But honestly, there are better attacking skills. Next up is empathy, basically increasing persuasion, awareness, and treat injury skill. Very useful to the soldier who has only a limited amount of points. Again, so you want to use that when you can. Because, again, very limited amount of points equals very limited amount of points, meaning that this thing, increasing 3 of them, is an extra 3, basically equivalent of an extra level of points that you put into things. Actually, 3 levels. Actually 2 levels worth of points. Because persuasion can cost 2, these both cost 1, so it gives basically 2 levels worth of skills, which is really good. Next up is Flurry, the best out of all the combat skills for melee, basically doing 2 extra attack, an extra attack, 3 attacks if you're doing making you do 2 attacks if you have one-handed, 3 attacks if you're dual-wielding, But basically, as the cost, it makes you has less penalty to hit, but also it makes it so you suffer -4 defense. Now here's the kicker: when you improve it to max, it just minuses by 1, meaning that it's basically again like with 2-up master weapon fighting, making it a negligible downside, meaning that it's just basically worth it to equip Master Flurry and just spam it over your regular attacks and just shred everything that's in front of you. You know. Next up is Gearhead, basically improving your repair security in computer use. Really only useful in party members that are good with these skills, basically increasing them again. Though it is important if you just say you don't have the party members on you, you want the skill. Conditioning, one of the most important skills in the game. Conditioning basically affects saving throws, meaning that the higher conditioning you have, the more likely you are to resist will saves, reflex saves, or fortitude saves, basically meaning you can resist bad status effects, or just straight up being stunned, or other things. Or completely resisting a person's force power on you. It's one of the most important skills of the game, each one increasing the amount of thrills you have, or the bonus. Basically increasing by 1, 2, and then 3. Again, what this feat you want to focus on sometimes, occasionally. Or else you'll be affected with a lot of status effects, although implants can make some of these things kind of useless. Implants basically affect the ability to equip implants. Now at base, you can equip it, but the scout can, through level up, they get this automatically. But for us, we have to do it manually. But the thing is, implants are some of the best equipment in the entire game. The higher the implant, the better the effect, because the implants give access to immunities to certain status effects, including the mind-altering one, meaning you're immune to stun. You're pretty darn good. But also giving you certain feats, and also increasing your stats. That's also one of the reasons why these skills aren't that good, because you have gear these skills aren't that good because you have gear that increases it. Power attack is basically a plus 5 to your next damage roll, but minus hit. Basically putting all your effort to attack for less hit. It is useful, but flurry attack is usually better, though it can be useful when used right. Then these 3 are basically just the blaster equivalents: power attack, cyber shot, and cyber shot, basically being respectively power slash, or power attack, rapid flurry, and critical hit, effectively. The cyber shot is honestly best on with dueling characters. Honestly, these two skills are a lot better on blaster characters than with melee characters, because you actually have the distance. This one especially, I've used Master Sniper Shot on a blaster character. They do come in handy, just letting you know. Anyways, next up is the prep proficiencies, basically the exact same as the art proficiencies, basically giving you certain stats that let you fight with them. And basically upgrading them basically gives you an attack bonus when using that certain weapon. Well, I will not be leveling these up until later, because you'll get to one thing later that I will be focusing most of my weapons into. Next up is toughness, basically giving you the toughness feat from D&D, basically increasing your giving you 1 extra HP every level up. Now, while it doesn't sound that good, remember the max HP you usually get by the end of the hunt is 100. 100, 200, so at max level at level 20, you'll get an extra, or actually 30. Isn't it 30? Yeah, 30. You get an extra 30 HP, which is amazing. Again, extra 30 HP is a difference between life and death at the end game. Then the second one, it basically gives you 2+ defense. Not only just any defense, -2 resistance to damage, which is insane. Basically making so you take 2 less damage on all hits, which is ridiculously strong. And then lastly is dueling, basically only important if you're role-playing a character that wields 1 weapon. Most of the time weapon fighting is better, but anyways, if you're using 1 weapon, dueling is really good because it increases your damage and defense when using it. But we already selected our feat, so let's click OK, and then name our character. I already have a name selected. I have named this character 7 times in this, but it's Evan Wrath. Okay, and play. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Again, I can't skip this. Unlike the Battlefront 2 ones, I cannot skip this one because it does play into a cutscene of what the heck is happening. Also, this will be a light-sided playthrough. I forgot to mention that, because meaning that we'll be going for most of the light-side choices. Though some quests are dark side only, which I will be doing. But anyways, which I will be doing with Gino Herod. Anyways, Knights of the Old Republic. 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Republic verges on collapse. Darth Malak, last surviving apprentice of the Dark Lord Revan, has unleashed an invincible Sith armada upon an unsuspecting galaxy. Crushing all resistance, Malak's war of conquest has left the Jedi Order scattered and vulnerable. As countless knights fall in battle, and many more swear allegiance to the new Dark Sith Master. In the skies above the Outer Rim planet's world of Terrace, a Jedi Knight battle fleet engages the forces of Darth Malak in a desperate effort to halt the Sith galactic domination. By the way, fun fact about this game, there's voice acting! Whoa, meaning I don't have to read much text! Whoa! I will be reading a lot of text because I will be reading most of the weapon bios because I think they're having interesting lore. Especially with, if you read any of the Old Republic novels. Anyways, we see a Hammerhead Corvette being attacked by Sith fighters, absolutely destroying this thing because of how many there are. Yeah, this isn't a winning battle over Terrace. We are losing. We have even lost our engine control, so we are just floating in space getting shot to high hell. Meaning that we are a sitting duck. We are going to die. Anyways, anywho, we start. So, what the heck? Oh, this rumbling. Where the heck am I? Why am I here? And why am I naked? What's going on? What the frick? How have I been sleeping through this entire thing? Ah, my head. Why does it hurt so bad?
We've been ambushed by a Sith battle fleet. The Endar Spire is under attack. Hurry up, we don't have much time.
Who are you? And anyway, what's the Endar Spire?
Did you fall out of your bunk and hit your head? The Endar Spire is the ship we're stationed on. This ship. You probably don't even know who I am, do you? I'm Trask Ulgo, ensign with the Republic Fleet. I'm your bunkmate here on the Endar Spire. We work opposite shifts. I guess that's why you haven't seen me before. Now hurry up. We have to find Bastila. We have to make sure she makes it off the ship alive.
Who's Bastila?
Bastila is the commanding officer on the Endar Spire. Well, not an officer, really. But she's the one in charge of this mission. One of our primary duties is to guarantee her survival in the event of an enemy attack. You swore an oath just like everyone else on this mission. Now it's time to make good on that oath. I've heard all about your reputation. Elite combat training, tops in your class. It's no wonder you were handpicked for this mission. Word is the officers haven't seen a recruit with your kind of potential in 20 years. But all that potential doesn't mean a thing if you can't deliver when it counts. We're soldiers. We're trained for combat. Bastila is going to need men and women like us at her side during this attack.
Okay, let's go help Bastila.
So hurry up and grab your gear. You need to suit up so we can get out of here.
Alright, so for most of this tutorial dialogue, I will be skipping it because it's tutorial dialogue. So we have a couple things. We can go to the Foot Locker and basically just get our things. Well, which is conveniently in a nearby locker. We have an Adrenal Stamina. We have a blaster rifle, a short sword, some clothing, and a med pack. The Adrenal Stamina basically is something we stick into ourselves to increase our HP for a temporary, increase our fortitude for a little bit, and we can do fortitude saves easier. Blaster rifle, basically a ranged blaster rifle, doing 1 to 8 damage, and the short sword is our main weapon of choice for right now, along with clothing and a med pack. So let's equip it by going into the equipment menu, meaning we have access to our implants, head, hands, right arm, body, left arm, left weapon, belt, and right weapon. So first, our weapon. First, the short sword. Disregarded by most modern warriors, a good short sword can still serve well in combat if the user is skilled. Which basically, as you can see, we can show our damage, which is 4 to 9, which are plus 3 strength, plus 1, basically equaling 4, and up to 9, which is our max damage we can do, to our lowest damage we can do. And then our plus 4 is to a chance to hit, meaning that we have when we roll a d20, a metaphorical d20 in the game, we will actually have a plus 4 to hitting. Next up is the blaster rifle, which has a 1 to d8, because our constitution is not added to blaster damage. Something to keep in mind, but it is added to hit. More powerful than the commonly available pistol, a blaster rifle is favored by soldiers of the galaxy. Civilian ownership of these weapons is not generally encouraged. So let's prepare things and our clothes. These are simple garments that protect a little more than the modesty of the wearer. They give no defense, so we'll have to be replacing that with better gear. But let's read the Adrenal Stamina. Again, increase our Constitution by 4. Oh no, it gives us Constitution by 4, which is pretty good. It gives us 4 extra HP. It means 15 HP for 2 minutes. Shot of this enhancer provides a temporary boost in the Constitution of the user. The effect wears off after a short time. The side effects are minimal. Stim bonuses that affect the same statistic do not stack. Medpack, single use. A medpack contains essential equipment for the treatment of wounds. They cannot be used by droids. Basic medpacks heal 10 vitality points plus wisdom modifier plus user skill and treat injury. Basically meaning that at total right now we will heal about 14 HP on use of one medpack. We can also, this is our party inventory, which has all the items equipped. This is our stat sheet, which is our character sheet. Then we can see our experience, our unit experience, our saves. We can see our stats, our HP and defense, our level, which and our soldier and our class. We can see our name and our alignment, which right now we are incomplete, true, neutral. Though eventually, as I said, we will be going into mostly pure light, which will actually make us so be able to equip certain weapons and armor. Next up, we can go to the skills thing, which lets us see the skills we have equipped, and we can also see our feats we equipped. Then we can see the game script, which we can see all the dialogue that was spoken to us ever, basically showcasing all that we know. And basically, let's look back at it just in case we forgot something, like some character, blah, 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 blah. And next up is our active quests, basically going on more of like a journaling thing, or a journal. Basically meaning, or you can check our active quests, our completed quests, our quest items, which we have none, and we can sort by name, priority, or planet. I usually do by order received. So, we can also, there. So basically, we can see the Endar Spire's attack. We can see our main quest, which is the attack on the Endar Spire. If the Endar Spire is under attack, Captain Made Trask has warned you that the Sith have bombarded the ship and search Bastila, the commander of the vessel. You and Trask are to find her before the Sith do. Over here is our map, basically seeing where we are on the map and basically showcasing key locations like corridors. We don't have the transit because that's not until we actually reach planet side. We also see our party selection, which we can't do unless we're on the ship. And then lastly, over here is the save game section. We can change gameplay stuff, feedback, auto pause, settings, graphics settings, sound settings, and gameplay. I will be saving game. I already have an Evan Wrath save, but I have to save over it because, fun fact, that was a save that I originally started this Let's Play on, and then I found out OBS freezes if you're not doing display capture. Also, by the way, fun glitch: press X, you can flourish weapon. Mash X.
Okay, let's move out. We should.
You start flourishing like crazy.
You'll have more success with a party than on your own.
All right, now we get our first party member, Trask Olgo. Trask Olgo is an Alderaanian noble. Well, comes from an Alderaanian noble family, and joined the Republic in order to fight in it for the good of all the galaxy. Being generally a good character, if I'm right, or neutral. But he is a level 3 soldier, not stronger than us, but has skills that we don't have.
Because of the attack, this room is in lockdown. But don't worry, I've got the override codes. You'll have to use me to unlock the door.
But he also has certain skills that we don't, as you can check by going into here. You can look at Trask's stats, seeing he's a lot stronger than we are, having higher dex, constitution, and wisdom and charisma. Generally being a lot stronger, again, okay, being neutral. But we also see his feats, seeing that he has mainly the same feats that we do, except he has conditioning instead of two-weapon fighting. And also he has skills, as you can see by his security skill, pretty darn good. He's able to unlock these level 3 locks. Or open these doors.
Now that the door's open, you better take the lead again.
Which, by the way, we can swap back to the party. Hang on, I'm just gonna adjust this for a bit. Just give me a moment. Like that. There we are. There we are. Just adjusted it so we now can see the full aspect ratio of the screen. There we are. Now you can see my full nameplate and what I see. Alright.
This is Carthonassi. The Sith are threatening to overrun our position. We can't hold out long against their firepower. All hands to the bridge!
That was Karth contacting us on our portable communicators. He's one of the Republic's best pilots. He's seen more combat than the rest of the Endar Spire's crew put together. If he says things are bad, you better believe it. We have to get to the bridge to help defend Bastila. There's a map of the Endar Spire and a copy of Karth's message in your electronic journal, just in case we get separated.
Alright, let's move out. Again, like we said, we have a new journal entry, which is this little thing up here, seeing that we have that our quest has changed. You've received a message of Carthonassi, highly effective heroic soldier. He has ordered all hands to protect Bastila, which we're all hands on deck. Anyway, here is a T-droid, basically basically being an ancient astromech droid before the R2 unit was invented, these things that were invented, which basically have the ability, which basically are kind of like, they're kind of basically ancient R2 units. They are the exact same, if anything. Anyways, let's unlock the door.
That door is locked. I don't have the codes to open it. But switch me to the party leader so you can use my security skills to slice into the access panel and open the door.
Anyways, this is the tutorial on lockpicking. Anyways, I think that the lockpick... Okay, we have no security, so we can't lock it, but he does. So let's see him unlock it. And we see our first cutscene of the Republic soldiers fighting some Sith troopers as that guy gets shot at the line.
These Sith must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic!
For the Republic! Anyways, we use power attacks. This is our first instance of combat. We can either attack or use power attacks. I'll just be charging at them right away. Switch to Trask in order to get more in there. Press pause in order to pause it. We'll be setting him to power blast like crazy. And why are you getting close range? And kicked in the face. And I did that with no damage taken. Nice. And I'm stuck in place. Keep going.
Sure.
I'm stuck. There we are. Sometimes you get stuck. Sometimes a quick load and quick save will do, but I think the quick save button is at 4. Yes, it is. Thank God I didn't load it, because if I did, I would have loaded or saved that was back in the front of the freaking end of the game. Anyways, let's just continue forward. Into the next battle. Power attack, swap to him, and you power attack him. Alright. Let's show off our skills. By the way, never click the attack button more than once. If you do, you will actually end up wasting actions. And I completely deflected his attack because of my high dex. Wow. Anyways, let's unlock things. Let's get ourselves a frag grenade, a short sword, a long sword, and a combat suit, an actual piece of armor. Also, you can also check these guys' remains, getting ourselves a frag grenade, and among other stuff. These guys also drop remains, so do loot their bodies, because they do have some good stuff on them. Or, I guess not. Okay. So let's check out our new gear. The longsword. The longsword basically is where the roots of lightsaber begin. Because before they had lightsabers, they had swords. And, basically, with traditional swords still wielded today in many primitive cultures, they are simple but still effective in the right hands. So for us, we will be equipping a sword in one hand and a longsword in the other. Meaning we'll lower our chance to hit, but we'll double our damage. It's something we don't have proficiency in hitting them because of how it works. Also, these are better as an offhand weapon. Honestly, for now, it actually might be better. Okay, now let's just lower our damage. Alright. So let's open the door and continue to another cutscene. That was that guy's a double-bladed blade. And that's why you don't sit next to explosive barrels. That guy got cut in half. That guy charges forward, only to be blown up by one of his teammates. Okay, what you could do actually. Nope. No. Cancel. What you want to do is hit this guy and throw a grenade. Kaboosh! Hold and blow up. Okay, get the credits, survey their currency. Charge for the Republic! Okay, click on him, it's attack. Huda! Oh, by the way, just one thing. If you're not wielding a sword, you do extra damage to blast-wielding targets, they have no way to defend against you. You still miss, but they're harder to defend against. Trust me, that will come in handy. Anyways, the credits off their bodies. And get the next thing. That droid blew up, meaning that we will lose parts pile. Which we'll get ourselves some parts. These things can be used for, well, our first example of parts. Also, for the frag grenade things. DC is 15 for half damage. Fragmentation grenades are very basic. When they explode when thrown, it's showering the enemy in shrapnel. It's not very elegant, but it's definitely effective. Combat suit. Glad equipped it. Defense bonus 4. Max security bonus 5. Even the most frugal of mercenaries know they need at least some protection from the rigors of combat. Even though suits of this type are recommended for light skirmishes only. Just meaning it's better for people who can't equip heavy armor, meaning that we should probably be equipping stronger gear. But hey, I also find the fact each of the gear in this game, except for implants, changes our design. I mean, we now have a snazzy new suit. Haha. Anyways, we can also flourish our dual-bladed weapons, because it's cool. Piracy, we do that a lot. We got a repair kit, by the way. repair kits, also our fragile parts, included in the basic tools needed for a destroyer to repair itself after being damaged in combat. This kit can't be used by living beings. Basic repair restore 15 vital points plus int modifier plus each skill and repair. Then there's parts. Parts are a disposable package of the universal adaptable parts designed for characters using their repair skill machines. Each pack is a one-use item. A higher repair skill reduces the number of parts needed for any given task. Anyways, open the store. So see a Jedi fighting a dark Jedi, which is basically a Sith, the Jedi who fell into the Sith of the dark side, and fell on the side of the Sith. And as the ship itself is being blown apart around them. She won, but at what cost? Being blown up.
That was one of the Jedi accompanying Bastila. Damn, they could have used her.
Well, another counter. Another day, another counter. Throw a grenade. Thank you, Dex. Anyways, we get to loot their bodies, grabbing a frag grenade off of him, and off the Jedi that died, which is unnamed. We get an adrenal stimulant vibration cell. Just a piece of her lightsaber, not her actual lightsaber at all. Honestly, we should be grabbing the lightsaber off her, though honestly, we don't have the knowledge or the skill to use it, so we'll probably end up chopping our arms off. Probably for the best that we don't grab it. Anyways, let's open the bridge. Let's quick save before we get the bridge, and now open it, because the bridge is full of enemies. And very heavily armed ones as that. Again, high dex. Anyways, we leveled up. Level up basically,
Bastila's not
but
here on the bridge. They must have retreated to the escape pods. We better head that way too. The Sith want Bastila alive, but once she's off the ship, there's nothing stopping them from blasting the Endar Spire into galactic dust.
Yeah. So, new journal entry. Time to leave the Endar Spire. You reached the bridge. Now Bastila is nowhere to be found. She likely made her way into the starboard escape pods. If you want to get off the Endar Spire alive, you should do the same. Yep, that is our next goal. Okay, I'm frozen stuck again, because that has happened sometimes. But anyways, we could level up. We could. I want to try and hold off on it. Because honestly, there is a point in the game where you want to level up, but I'm not sure if I want to hold off until then. Most of the time, because I'm not sure if I should. Also, we get a blaster pistol from that pack, meaning that we now have a new weapon to show off. The blaster pistol cannot be equipped because we have it on our other hand, but anyways. That's another thing that's balanced, meaning that it has less penalty. The most common range weapon in the galaxy is the basic fast pass pistol, firing a bolt of intense coherent light powered by a replaceable power pack. We can also check out the vibration cell and our adrenal strength to boost our strength by 4. Shot enhancer, same as the other things. Vibration cell. A cell like this can stabilize a melee weapon, allowing it to hit and damage better, and possibly gain other effects. This modification requires a workbench with adequate tools and a weapon of a high quality marked as upgradable. Because yes, there are some weapons that are upgradable while others cannot. Upgraded weapons are usually better in every way for melee. But, let's level up our character. Wrong thing. Anyways, when you click your character sheet, you have the ability to auto-level up. Most of the time you don't want to do this. Or level up your character. Level up. Basically, you can choose between a different thing for level up. Usually depends on the class. So, for soldier, you can choose your skills. We only get one because of our intelligence. If we get 2 intelligence, we get 2, yada yada, more. Most of the time, it's soldiers heck really bad. Anyways, most of the time we want to treat injury skill, and we get a feat. So for this, I will be getting the conditioning, or should I get fortitude? Let's get fortitude or toughness. So that will boost our HP by a lot. Seriously, it boosted it by 2. And now we have 24 HP instead of the regular 11. See? And which is actually more than almost as much as Trask. Anyways, let's open the door and head forward. Continue forward through the Endar Spire. But when we open this door, Trask charges up ahead because it was the door, revealing a Sith Lord.
Try to hold him off.
That ain't no Dark Jedi. That is a named character who we'll be meeting later. But Trask gets locked in behind him, sacrificing his life in order for us to get out of here. So Trask, no! We hardly knew ye, but actually it is important because the Olgo family is a major family on Alderaan. And their death does hit them like a truck, especially if you know anything about the Old Republic, where he actually gets recognized as a hero for the Olgo family. And that Sith Lord who chopped off his head, they wanted his head in return. Quoting the Smuggler story, by the way, play the Old Republic, it's a pretty good MMO. Anyways, let's head into the starboard section, heading into a loading screen into the next area of the ship.
This is Carthel Nassi on your personal communicator. I'm tracking your position through the Endar Spire's life support systems. Basila's escape pod is away. You're the last surviving crew member on the Endar Spire. Now, I can't wait for you much longer. You have to get to the escape pods.
Alright, that is Carthel Nassi, or the commander here. He will be basically guiding us through this location and getting us out of here intact. Charge! There's no more soldiers other than this guy. It's basically supposed to be a stealth tutorial if you're playing as a character that uses stealth. We don't use stealth. So we just chop the guy. We just charge the guy and chop his face off. I'm stuck again. Okay. See if that works. Quick load. Okay. There we are. That works. If you get stuck, some of the quick loading works. So, this door you can open and reveal more enemies. Charge, power attack. Okay, just focus fire. Again, just click attack once, because you click it more than once, you'll be wasting turns. Just do it once, because it'll auto attack.
There's a whole squad of Sith troopers on the other side of that door. You need to find some way to thin their numbers. You could reprogram the damaged assault droid to help you, if you have enough repair parts. Or you could use computer spikes to slice into the terminal and use the Endar Spire security systems against the Sith.
So, we have two options. Again, frozen a bit, but anyways. We could either, A, in this locker, has parts and computer spikes. I'll show computer spikes real quick that I have up for them. Computer spikes. These items allow users to slice computer programs, assaulting systems with garbage data and to overwhelm security measures. They are one-use items. As high the computer skill, reduce the number of spikes required for any task. So, we either have one, a damaged security droid, which is right now offline, which by the way has a really, really high-quality model for the era. Again, I'm not playing with any HD model packs. This is just how it looks. This game looks really good for 2002. A quick save. Or we can hack this computer terminal and get some other things. Also, a really good model. But anyways, let's do both, actually, to get the most EXP. So, we could do this slicing tutorial, but I'm not going to. So, view the starboard transport module, which we can see everyone inside of there, including a conduit, which has there. Which, with these 5 computer parts, we can overload the power conduit, killing everyone inside of there. Good. Exit system. Or we can initiate the droid repair system and completely shred. We can reactivate the droid, basically engaging their droid repair the droid shields and patrol mode, which basically makes it so it walks out and shoots everything. The shields basically absorbs damage. Most of the time, though, if you're going for damage, you want to go for patrol mode. Do not restore everything first for patrol mode. Patrol mode is the most important part, because if not, they can't move. So they don't do anything. But I'm just gonna say okay, he's on. Alright. I'm gonna say screw it and charge in. Guns blazing. Okay, he can't. Okay. I'm gonna do the patrol mode. Alright, leave it alone. But when you do patrol mode, you can't do anything. Okay, I'm going to save as many computer spikes and repair kits as possible because you have grenades. So it's much better than using anything else. So grenade, grenade, okay, grenade. Maybe fine. Alright, let's loot. Let's go looting! So, over on this guy has a med pack, so let's go. This patrol bot will not follow us, by the way. They will leave us after this room. Some credits. On here is a very important sword. This is the prototype Vibroblade, an ion blaster. Ion blasters do extra damage against droid enemies, and are balanced too. Unlike a typical blaster, this weapon fires a stream of energy, very damaging to electrical systems, causing havoc on the internal components of droids. But the main thing we want to equip is this. This is not a balanced weapon, but good for the main hand, because this weapon... Okay, no, it is balanced. Okay, then. Maybe I should equip it on the other hand. Yeah, I should equip it on the other hand, because it's better than this. And for one, has a plus 10. Yeah, it's much better than the offhand. Okay, so, This is our first upgradable weapon, meaning we're able to put power cells and other things to make this thing a much better weapon. This very adaptable model of Viroblade, made for the user on a budget, that will be purchasing upgrades as resources for finances become available. So, there we are. Nothing else we can equip, but we do have some credits too, which we can see on the inventory screen right there. 80 credits. So we have $83 for our name.
You've made it just
and there's
in time.
Karth.
There's only one active escape pod left. Come on, we can hide out on the planet below.
How do I know I can? How do I know I can trust you?
I'm a soldier with the Republic, like you. We're the last 2 crew members left in the Endar Spire. Bastila's escape pod's already gone, so there's no reason for us to stick around here and get shot by the Sith. Now, come on, there'll be time for questions later.
All right. So, let's follow Karth out of the tutorial, because yeah, that was the tutorial. Honestly, I think this is one of my favorite tutorials in a video game. You just get thrown right into the thing and get small little tooltips, if you have it on, to basically guide you, subtly. So it shows you how to use grenades, how to use staminas, med packs when you get hit, which I didn't, because I'm good at this game. And, well, I got hit once. But anyways, escape pod. This is the last escape pod on your only hope for survival. If you step away, you basically loot the rest of the stuff in here, but once you leave, you cannot come back. There is no Endar Spire wreckage. So any gear they leave is gone. So, do it. Do it unless you're sure you got everything. So, also there's no inventory, like, oh, too much carry weight. There isn't any. Just collect everything you can. Anyways, use the escape pod. So it appears we had 3 escape pods launch before the Endar Spire went kaboom! And we land on Terrace's surface. Well, as much of a surface it is. It's covered in buildings. On a Sith-controlled world, as we have a nightmare. What? As we are unconscious. Can we see Bastila wielding one lightsaber, which is unusual for her, fighting a couple Dark Jedi and slaying one by decapitating him and stabbing him to the chest. Maybe that was Revan. Who knows? We don't know what happened to the original the original Revan yet. We only know that Malak is now by power.
Good to see you up instead of thrashing about in your sleep. You must have been having one hell of a nightmare. I was wondering if you were ever going to wake up. I'm Karth, one of the Republic soldiers from the Endar Spire. I was with you in the escape pod. Do you remember?
Yeah. Right. I remember Raph, by the way. How did you get here? How did we get here?
You've been slipping in and out of consciousness for a couple of days now, so I imagine you're pretty confused about things. Try not to worry. We're safe. At least for the moment. We're in an abandoned apartment on the planet of Terrace. We were banged up pretty bad when our escape pod crashed, but luckily I wasn't seriously hurt. I was able to drag you away from our crash site and all the confusion, and I stumbled into this abandoned apartment. By the time the Sith arrived on the scene, we were long gone.
The Sith.
Terrace is under Sith control.
Ah.
The fleet is orbiting the planet. They've declared martial law, and they've imposed a planet-wide quarantine. But I've been in worse spots. I saw on your service records that you understand a remarkable number of alien languages. It's pretty rare in a raw recruit, but it should come in handy while we're stranded on a foreign world. There is no way the Republic will be able to get anyone through the Sith blockade to help us. If we're gonna find Bastila and get off this planet, we can't rely on anybody but ourselves.
Bastila, she's the one from the Endar Spire, right?
That smack to your head did more damage than I thought. Bastila's a Jedi. She was with the strike team that killed Darth Revan, Malak's Sith Master. Bastila's the key to the whole Republic war effort. The Sith must have found out that she was on the Endar Spire and set an ambush for us in this system. I believe Bastila was on one of the escape pods that crashed down here in Terrace. For the sake of the Republic war effort, we have to try and find her.
So I have several things. How can one person, even a Jedi, being so important?
Bastila is no ordinary Jedi. She has a rare gift the Jedi call battle meditation. Bastila's power can influence entire armies. Through the Force, Bastila can inspire her allies with confidence and make her enemies lose their will to fight. Often that's all it takes to tip the balance in a battle. Of course, there are limits to what she can do, but from what I understand of her ability, it requires great concentration and focus to maintain her battle meditation. The attack on the Endar Spire happened so fast, she never had a chance to use her battle meditation. Like us, she barely got out alive.
Yeah. Bastila's a Jedi, she can probably look after herself. Or what do we suggest we do next? Or how do you know that Basil is still alive?
I don't, but Basil is young, and she has a powerful command of the Force. We survived the crash landing, so I'm willing to bet that she may have too. Besides, what's the alternative? I mean, if she's dead, then no one can stop Malik and his Sith from wiping out the Republic, and I'd rather operate on the assumption that she survived.
Yeah. What do you suggest we do next?
Basil is gonna need our help. Many of Darth Malik's followers can use the dark side of the Force, and the Sith have already killed more than their share of Jedi in this war. Nobody will be looking for a couple of common soldiers like us, and if we're careful, we can move about the planet without attracting notice.
Attracting notice.
Basil won't have. She's gonna have half the Sith fleet looking for her. They know how important she is to the war effort. The whole planet is under quarantine. No ships can land or take off. So if Basil's gonna escape Terrace, she's gonna need our help, and we'll probably need hers.
Alright. So any ideas where we should start looking for Basila?
While you were out, I did some scouting around. There are reports of a couple of escape pods crashing down into the Undercity. It's probably a good place to start. But the Undercity's a dangerous place. We don't want to go there unprepared, and it won't do Basila any good if we go and get ourselves killed.
Alright. I want to ask you some questions before we leave.
I'll tell you whatever I can, though I don't know how much help it'll be.
What do you know about Malik and the Sith?
Everything I know about Malik is pretty much common knowledge. He escaped the trap that killed Darth Revan, his Sith master. With Revan's death, Malik became the new Dark Lord. It's obvious that Malik's a ruthless tyrant who'll crush anyone who stands in his way, just like Revan was. Experience has shown that the Sith won't stop until the Republic lies in ruins. Malik and his Sith don't respect anything except raw, brutal power. It's hard to imagine how someone who used to be a Jedi could become such a monster.
A Jedi? What do you mean?
Malik and Revan were once both part of the Jedi Order, but they were young and headstrong, and against the wishes of the Council, they went to battle the Mandalorians on the Outer Rim. Something happened out there. Something corrupted them and drew them over to the dark side. Or maybe there was something rotten inside them all along. I don't know. They formed an army of ex-Republic soldiers and Jedi who'd fallen to the dark side, with Revan at their head, until Revan was killed by Basila's Jedi strike team. But even that didn't slow the Sith down. Malik just stepped in and assumed Revan's role. He took control of the Sith Armada and resumed the bloody conquest of the Outer Worlds.
Don't worry, we'll find a way to stop the Sith.
Well, I hope you're right. But the Republic has been able to stop them so far, even with the support of the Jedi Council. I think Basila may be the galaxy's last hope.
What can you tell me about the planet we're on?
Taurus was once a magnificent planet-wide metropolis of towering skyscrapers.
Yeah, totally Outer Rim.
But that was a long time ago. The upper city, where the rich citizens live, is still pretty safe. If it wasn't for the Sith occupation and the planet-wide quarantine, it might not even be a bad place to live. But farther down, things have degenerated. The lower city is nothing but a slum overrun by swoop bike gangs, waging a never-ending war for control. And the undercity is... that's even worse. The lowest level of Terrace is a wasteland overrun by rat ghouls, mindless, diseased mutants that attack on sight. I've already entered all this info into your datapad journal.
Oh, thank you. So, I'd like to know more about you, Karth. I mean, you're history of a life, after all. I'd like to know more about you.
I understand why you want to know more about me. I kind of get the feeling we'll be spending a lot of time together over the next while. But this isn't really the best time for long introductions. We should stay focused on the task at hand. There'll be a time for that later.
Alright. The sooner we can start looking for Basila, the sooner we can find her. Let's go.
Good idea. We can use this abandoned apartment as a base. We can probably get some equipment and supplies here in the upper city. Just remember to keep a low profile. I've heard some grim stories about the Dark Jedi interrogation techniques. They say the Force can do terrible things to a mind. It can wipe away your memories and destroy your very identity. But I figure if we don't do anything stupid, we should be okay. I mean, after all, they're looking for Basila, not a couple of grunts like us. All right, soldier, let's move out.
Alright. So we move out. This is our first sanctuary location, meaning we are fully healed when we step into here. And we have a locker to store our things, though we never really should. Anyways, we can also get a computer spike and a med pack, which pretty good. And our first weapon workbench. Throughout the game, you'll find weapons and armors that are upgraded and finest forbidden. These items can be upgraded to the condition of an upgrade item. Upgrade these new powerful upgrade weapons made with supply series and armor. Let's use the workbench now. On our melee weapon, our prototype vibroblade, which has a energy cell that we put into it. increasing the damage by 1, basically getting a damage bonus of 2. Meaning now, our weapon should, well, if you see, do 5 damage instead of the previous, well, instead of the previous 3. Okay. So that's gonna be it for this episode. Well, actually, let's talk to Karth for a bit, because we can talk to Karth.
Yes, what's on your mind?
I'd like to know more about you, Karth.
Me? Well, I've been a star pilot for the Republic for years. Seen more than my share of wars. I fought in the Mandalorian Wars before all this started. But with all that, I've never experienced anything like the slaughter these Sith animals can unleash. Not even the Mandalorians were that senseless. My homeworld was one of the first planets to fall to Malak's fleet. The Sith bombed it into submission, and there wasn't a damn thing our Republic forces could do to stop them.
Sorry, Karth. This must be very painful for you.
I'm just a soldier. I go where the fleet admirals tell me to. I follow my orders and I do my duty. It's just... doesn't seem right that doing that means I failed them. I didn't.
That's not what it's selected. Them? Do you mean the people of your homeworld?
Yeah, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not making much sense, am I? You probably mean well with your questions. I'm just not accustomed to talking about my past very much. At all, actually. I'm more used to taking action, keeping my mind focused on the business at hand. So let's just do that. If you have more questions, ask them later.
Looks like Karth has some deep-seated trauma. Adding a side quest to our things. Also, there's planetary information on Terrace. It's a sharply divided world. The rich live in the upper city, while the lower cities are ruled by their swoop gangs. The lowest level of Terrace are overrun with terrible monsters called rat ghouls. To make this matters worse, the Sith have seized planetary control and have imposed a planet-wide quarantine, meaning that no one can leave and no one can come in. You're stranded on Terrace, a planet under Sith control. You must now find you and Karth Onassa, you must find Basila, the only person capable of stopping the Sith from conquering the entire galaxy. You should probably begin by investigating reports that escape pods have crashed into the Undercity. And then there's Karth. You discovered that Karth's homeworld was attacked by the Sith, though he was reluctant to talk about it. Perhaps you can talk more about it after you gain more experience. Because yes, party characters actually for their things are determined by, like, on dialogue, are determined by your EXP level. Other than what certain characters don't, like a certain droid companion we'll get later, which is probably the most iconic character in this entire game. If you know, you know. But anyways, with that done, let's end this episode. Next time on Let's Play KOTOR, or Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic, we're going to be heading outside into the Terrace the upper city of Terrace, exploring and see what we can do, and maybe head into the Undercity, and see what else we can do. See you guys then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.